Okay, real quick, just going to kind of get you back in the mindset. I'm going to show that sine of 3 theta equals 3 sine theta minus 4 sine cubed theta. All right? So, excuse me. One thing I can do is I'm going to work one side of the equation, okay? So I'm going to take the sine of 3 theta, and I can break it up into sine of a plus b, which can be what? 2 theta plus theta, all right? So I know the formula for sine of a plus b. I hope you guys do. It's sine of what? Sine a cosine b plus cosine a sine b, all right? And then, let me see if I can blow this up just a tad. So let's plug in a and b. Remember, this will be my a, this is my b. So sine 2 theta, cosine theta plus cosine 2 theta, sine of theta. All right, and let's remember though, we have identities for sine of 2 theta and cosine 2 theta, okay? So sine of 2 theta is 2 sine theta cosine theta, remember? Okay, times cosine theta. And cosine 2 theta here is cosine squared theta minus sine squared theta, and then that's times sine theta. All right, so here I'm going to have, when I multiply this by the distributive property, this times this and this times this, I get 2 sine theta cosine squared theta. Over here, I'm going to have this sine theta times cosine squared theta and sine theta times sine squared theta. So here I have sine theta cosine squared theta just like this, but there's 2 of them. And then this sine times sine squared is minus sine cubed. Okay, so you should see how we got that. All right, now I'm going to combine like terms. I've got a 2 sine cosine squared theta plus 1 sine theta cosine squared theta. These are like terms, so I have 3 of those. 3 sine theta cosine squared theta. And minus the sine cubed theta. So what do? I have one common factor, and that's just sine. Okay? So I factor out sine of theta, and that gives me, what's left here? If I take that out, 3 cosine squared theta. And I take a sine out of that, and that makes that sine cubed become sine squared theta. All right? Now, when you have something like this, let's get it all in terms of sine. Okay? So I'm going to sine theta times 3, and what do I put in for cosine squared theta? 1 minus sine squared theta. Okay? Hopefully you all know where we got that. All right? Supposed to build on things here in this course. Okay, so remember cosine squared plus sine squared equals 1, so 1 minus sine squared theta is that. So I've got 3 times, this is my cosine squared theta, but I've got it in sine form, 1 minus sine squared theta, minus sine squared theta. So within these parentheses right here, I multiply 3 times 1, 3 times this, and I get 3 minus 3 sine squared theta minus sine squared theta, okay? So in these brackets right here, I'm going to simplify things. I've got this right here are like terms. I've got negative 3 sine squared theta minus sine squared theta is what? That's negative 4 sine squared theta, and I still have this 3. And outside the brackets, I have sine of theta. Okay, so now we'll do our final distribution, distributive property. Sine theta times 3 is 3 sine theta, and sine theta times negative 4 sine squared theta is negative 4 sine cubed theta. Okay? Notice that's what we just proved that. Okay? What else? Got 3 minutes for... Here's something I want to show you real quick. This is tomorrow on your worksheet. Tan of u plus v show that we want to prove that tangent formula, that what? Tan of a plus b, the tan of u plus tan of v equals 1 minus tan u tan v. Okay? Number 12, what did I do? I started doing sine of, this is basically sine of u plus v over cosine u plus v, and we work that. Here's a technique, there's little tricks. There's 2 of them that you have to have tricks for. Notice when you do this tomorrow how I've got the sine of u plus v over cosine of u plus v formula. But notice what I did to the numerator and denominator. I divided both by cosine u v, cosine u, cosine v. I'm sorry, cosine u, v, cosine u, cosine v, and I divided this by cosine u, cosine v. So basically, I multiplied top and bottom by 1 over cosine u, cosine v, and this by 1 over cosine u, cosine v, which is 1. Okay, so 1 over, this, I multiplied it basically like this. Okay? So I multiplied that fraction by 1 over cosine u cosine v on top of 1 over cosine u cosine v. So this is 1. So this will help us, okay? When we do this, this helps us cancel things out and get to where we need to be, okay? So we'll work that tomorrow. We've got 5 problems. There's this one, another one have the little trick where you have to divide by something, okay? And I'll help you out tomorrow. All right, 5:38, goodbye. That's how 5 minutes and 40 seconds. All right, have a good one. We'll see you tomorrow. Quiz on some of these formulas we've done the last couple days. Bye.